Tonight on NBC, Jimmy Fallon and Bozoma St. John host the highly anticipated new competition show.
I hired 10 creatives from all walks of life. They will be battling it out to see who can impress the world's biggest brands.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is the battle for the next big idea.
This is not play.
We're spending millions of dollars.
I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with all of you.
May the best idea win!
On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, series premiere tonight on NBC.
Navigate the gauntlet of uncertainty the world throws at your business with SAP. Whether it's a tropical storm hitting your warehouse or a short supply of those little plastic twist ties, SAP can help you tackle those unexpected crushing setbacks with its AI-powered capabilities. To pivot to new suppliers, automate paperwork, and source the twist ties you need at the price you want, so your business can stay unstoppable. Learn more at sap.com/uncertainty.
HR tech, work tech, and investment are transforming the future of work. Are you in the know? Welcome to the Work Tech Podcast. Join host George Larocque for expert insights on the trends, M&A activity, and strategies shaping the workplace. Brought to you by oneworktech.com and the Work Defined Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, it's George Larocque. Welcome back to Work Tech. We had some recent really exciting industry news. JobGet announced the acquisition of Snagajob. And since that announcement, there's been a lot of buzz about what this means for the market. And I am pleased to be joined by Tony Liu, JobGet's co-founder and CEO, to give us some direct perspective on this deal. Welcome, Tony.
Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite, George.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of questions about this deal. It's exciting. But before we dig in, for anyone that doesn't know you or JobGet, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the company?
Yeah, happy to give a quick background. You know, I can dive into kind of the origin story of the JobGet first, if that's helpful.
Perfect.
I grew up in a very blue collar family. My mom was a cook, my dad was a machine operator. I was a delivery boy, a cashier throughout my whole high school career. Then I went off to college, spent a couple of years in finance world, and fast forward to kind of 2017, my mom, who had been a cook for more than 30 years, she lost her job because the restaurant she worked at closed down. So she came to me with her paper resume and was like, "Hey Tony, can you help me take a look to apply on Craigslist?" And there's these job wanted signs. And that's when I thought, hey, no problem, mom. This is gonna take me, two minutes to finish up. And 2 hours later, I was still kind of on the third bullet on her resume and trying to figure things out. And then thought to myself, hey, this is the same thing that she did 30 years ago when she first moved to Canada and applying for a cook job. It's still really the same thing, same thing I did 20 years ago when I was in high school. It's still kind of the same thing today. So, basically embarked on this mission with some co-founders and I. We canvassed the streets of Boston, talked with hundreds of retail and restaurant employers, um, also job seekers, actually from nonprofits to schools, to say, hey, what's a better way to help folks in the hourly workforce find a job a lot faster? And that's when we launched kind of JobGet early in 2019 with the mission of helping hourly workforce and get a job within 24 hours. And that's kind of what we embarked on. And the overall notion is building this mobile marketplace where employers and job seekers can interact instantly, all focused on kind of the hourly workforce spectrum. And this ranges from retail to restaurants to healthcare to warehouse, logistic, transportation, health, basically almost 50% of the US population out there. And our ultimate vision is to build this home for the hourly workforce where employers and job seekers can hold up proudly and say, hey, JobGet, this is where I go to find my candidates or to look for a job in the hourly space.
That's great. I appreciate a good origin story, and I love hearing how life experience motivated you down this path. I think a lot of folks in this industry feel like this industry finds them one way or another, because it's HR tech, recruiting tech. While we all see it, it's sort of invisible. Most folks don't really think about it, and from a consumer or a B2B perspective. Um, so now fast forward. Uh, a backstory and origin story around this big deal as well. I'm curious what's happening in the market right now that led you to this transaction, and I just don't want to bury the lead. I want to talk a little bit about the transaction, and then I want to dig a little deep into JobGet as well. But what was happening that brought you to this?
Yeah. So for us, it's a very interesting time for our industry, to say the least.
Mhm.
I would say that what prompted us on this overall strategy, right, is that the industry has definitely seen quite a bit of headwinds over the last year or two. But the silver lining for us is that even amongst all these headwinds, we're still seeing decent modest growth on top of all this. And what that indicates to us is that we definitely resonated with our customers and our user base in having this very viable and um, you know, super product that folks do love, even despite a tough economy ahead. So what we found is, okay, if this is what's happening here, then we want to double down on this, kind of expand our reach, expand our growth, be kind of a little bit counter-cyclical in this time to really make sure we kind of grow the space as much as possible. So that's the overall kind of strategy behind this, is that we're seeing, despite kind of with the industry headwinds, we're still seeing a lot of great reception from our users, from our customers. So that makes us further believe that this is we should get our idea and product out there as much as possible. In terms of Snag, we had conversation with Snag, um, dating back to their chairman and their previous CEO and the current CEO and their board. It's just great relationship all around because we share similar visions and missions. So this was conversations initially with partnerships, but over time, it just make more sense to welcome kind of Snagajob to the JobGet's family and really kind of help scale together and really becoming that ultimate platform.
Yeah. And you
Mhm.
mentioned reach. Was that the driving force behind, you think about that build buy partner conversation. You had the partner conversations and you got to buy to that you landed on buy. What was it reach that drove it, or what can you say about what drove that?
Yeah. So I think there's a couple factors. I think the first is it's just when we think about the mission that we're both trying to achieve, which is to really build this ultimate platform for the hourly workers, right? And for the employers as well. So the first thing really is because of that alignment and vision, there's just a lot of synergies and a lot of we're building similar things though through different means. So I think first of all that alignment makes us kind of a great fit here. But second, yes, I think to the reach point, we, for example, JobGet is relatively newer to the scene, even though we've been around for 6, 7 years now. We're a mobile first platform, right? So we focus on building kind of this modern application dedicated to more of kind of the Gen Z and millennial population, where a lot of the traditional websites and job platforms really don't have access to, kind of given our reach, our focus on this newer population. Snagajob, on the other hand, they've been around for decades, so this deep reservoir of candidate pool spanning from all types of demographics, right? So there's actually a lot of great synergy from reach there, and combined, we have a database and reach of over 100 million job seekers in the U.S. on the hourly workforce, which is quite significant. Um, so that's kind of the second thing here, and I'd say that the last thing here really is from a technology and data perspective. There's also a lot of synergies, right? So
Hi, this is Stacey Harris.
And this is Terry Zipper, and we're the host of the two podcasts under the HR Huddle.
On Spilling the Tea on HR Tech, we uncover the latest trends, truths, and challenges from Sapient Insight Group's groundbreaking research and our analyst insights, serving up everything you need to know about HR tech with no sugarcoating.
And on HR, we have a problem. We tackle the toughest workplace challenges head on, offering you expert advice and actionable solutions to help HR leaders thrive in today's fast changing world. Whether you want the scoop on tech or tools to solve people problems, we've got you covered.
Take a listen and subscribe. If you want to become part of our community, we'd love to see you.
We have recently launched this For You platform on JobGet, where job seekers, it really becomes this advanced personalized experience where job seekers can, with every click they do, with every tap they do, with every job they view, we help make that experience even better for them, where they would get recommended jobs that matches exactly kind of what their next steps are. So with the combined technology, we're able to leverage that now with additional data sets to really make that an even better experience for the job seekers. So from that perspective, I think it's a great fit as well.
Yeah. That the mobile first, the app focus. This is more than just delivering, a responsive marketplace, or I think in a lot of folks, when they hear mobile first, that's what they think. But there's more about that experience for the job seeker, consumer. Can you talk about that a little bit, like how that really fuels some of your differentiation?
Yeah, I would say probably the most important thing is personalization at scale, right? So kind of what I alluded to earlier, but having to dive deeper here is if you think about going to a job site, right? Or like a desktop platform. You're really, you're doing a search. I'm searching for a cashier. I'm searching for a cook position. I'm searching for a warehouse worker position, driver position. When we have a mobile first platform and an app that a user has in the palm of their hands, it really is um, personalization at scale. What I mean by this is it becomes this catered job discovery process where if someone goes to our platform, right, they click on a cashier position but they view like a concierge position, right? Now we know we cater to this experience to them and say, hey, if you feel like, hey, concierge is a good fit, given kind of your skill set, your background, and what other folks similar to what you are looking for, we actually recommend, hey, maybe a front desk agent position. We recommend a hostess position, right? Depending on kind of the trajectory of different folks, their preferences, and based on employer feedback on the candidates that they like. So that's personalization at scale, and that really is something that differentiates us and makes this experience a lot better from a fit perspective. And the results shows, right? So from our employers, they are seeing much better time to hire rate, better fit rate, conversion ratios, just all around the metrics are a lot better than kind of the traditional sources they use. Which also leads to the second thing is from an app perspective, the responsiveness is a lot higher, right? What I mean by this is traditionally, someone applies, they get a resume, maybe 5, 6, days later, they get an email, and then maybe they take another 2 days, 3 days. Whereas now on the app, everything is instant, everything's real time. So folks are responding to employers. It's on the tip of their phone. They just reply right away, and the time to hire also cuts down for employers significantly. Um, and I would say that it also just becomes this home for the hourly workforce where they not only get access to jobs, but they get access to connections, they get access to community, they get access to reviews, they get access to extra income opportunities that are all personalized for them, which I think makes it a very unique and helpful experience for the job seekers and employers.
Yeah, I think you hit on a few things there. Your last point, it's a true marketplace, and when I think about the HR tech and work tech, it's of course a job board. A simple job board is a marketplace that's got two sides, but where I really differentiate marketplaces is where there's other value added, particularly for the candidate. And I think by focusing there as you have, uh, ultimately that brings great rewards for the employers as well. So these opportunities to learn or extra income opportunities, that's key. And I think there's a big trend, macro trend around that's happening right now where um, I, folks are looking for safe spaces or secure spaces where they can trust the content that they're delivered. And in this case, we're talking about really important content. This is in the frontline workforce. You want to be aware of the right jobs, when they're open, and to be able to respond to them quickly, and having a source of truth, and that trust that not only is it a job that's relevant, but when I get the notification in this app, I know that it's not a scam. It's not, I can trust that whether it's a fit or not, it's worth my view. So that responsiveness doesn't surprise me, given where the market seems to be headed right now. So kudos for that.
Thank
Um,
you. No, I think that's exactly right.
So, back on the deal, I'm curious, if you look at the customers on both sides, what should maybe start with JobGet customers? What should they be most excited about? And I guess I'll say you may consider candidates customers as well. The employers, what should they be most excited about? And maybe candidates as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I think from an employer perspective, well, first from a candidate perspective, that's going to be pretty. Um, so we plan to. Um, so Snagajob has jobs that we don't have, and we have jobs that Snagajobs don't have. So I think just from a content value perspective, I think that would be a lot more richer from a combined platform there. From an employer perspective, I think it's very exciting, right? First, they get access to really access to over 100 million job seekers, right? Which is something that's it's going to be very useful for them. Second, I think they get even better at kind of matching in terms of fit, in terms of responsiveness, in terms of quality. Um, Given that we have additional job seekers, additional usage data types, that's going to make that experience a lot better. And I would say the lastly is they can get excited about, we are taking the best of both worlds in terms of an employer feature perspective, which the employer will have access to insights, data, reporting, automation that would also enable their experience to be a lot richer than previously.
Ah,
So I think, I think those are some of the things that are
okay.
in the pipeline there.
So the platform will be integrated then across the experience, or will Snag stand alone, or will that be temporary?
Yeah, it's a good question. So from an integration perspective, right, the way we see it is in the short term, so call it within the first year, our plan is to have the platforms operate as separate entities. From an employer experience perspective, we want to make sure that they get um, the same, if not better, experience that they currently have without any kind of changes. But in addition, they get additional resources to the platform.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just
Speaking into the void.
But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
And on top of that, what would happen is if we have best practices from each platform, we would add complementary features to those platforms to share those best practices. So for example, like Snagajob, they have this really cool automated insights into some of their jobs. We plan to carry over some of those features there in JobGet, right? JobGet has different type of access to social media, et cetera, that we can offer to kind of Snagajob. But from an employer usage perspective, it would be standalone, and they'll get kind of the same level of service, if not better, and more resources. In the long term, I would say, a year to 3 years, we have thought about potentially integrating into a formalized platform for employers, but that's on a I would say that's to be determined for now, right? As we see how the learnings that we get over the coming year and employer preferences and what's the best success for our users, that's kind of to be determined in the pipeline in the future here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And if you're um, sort of equalizing, features, balancing features on each side, if down the road, if you get to the point, it where if the decision is to merge those or integrate into one platform, no one will feel like they're losing capabilities, or the experience will be consistent, if not better than what they're seeing. Yeah, that's
Exactly. Our number one priority is making sure our customers are in a same state or a better state, versus trying to do anything disruptive in kind of the short term there. But in terms of access to platform, they will have additional access without any changes in the functionality experience there.
yeah. So you talked about strategy earlier, and I'm curious, um, does this deal represent, sort of M&A? Does that represent a big part of your future from a strategic perspective?
Yeah. So I think for us, our ultimate vision is, again, is building this home for the hourly workforce, right? I think for us, whether we get there from a buy perspective or a build perspective or partnership perspective, um, we want to get there fast, right? I think speed is very important to us, especially given that we've seen such good reception from kind of the client and customer base here. So for us, we actually, it's interesting you mentioned that we are currently in talks with a few other kind of players there to look at additional acquisition opportunities for us to welcome more folks into the JobGet family. So that's stay tuned. But I think that is very much so, part of our plan to continue to scale and grow and building this ultimate home for the hourly workforce.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and have I think you've made some other acquisitions as well, right? So this wasn't your first acquisition as JobGet.
No, no, this is our third or fourth one, depending on how you slice and dice it. So,
Okay.
but this is I would say this is our biggest one so far.
Yeah.
But so we have a couple rounds of practice now, so I think it's going to be a very exciting future ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's uh I think the market is at a place right now where uh the the economy of scale, with there's so much consolidation, happening, but there's so much happening in this frontline worker space, so much innovation, uh, and so it sounds like this won't be the last time we're here chatting about a deal, which I'll look forward to that, to see where you what direction you head in. Um, so, is there anything from a you've talked about, being the primary destination for the hourly and frontline workforce. Um, is there anything in the medium term that is on your roadmap that might point to direction around that
Yeah,
strategy that you can talk about?
for sure, for sure. I mean, for us, ultimately, we're focused on.
Whether you're a payroll pro or an employee wanting to understand your paycheck better, we've got you covered. Tune into It's About Payroll for expert insights on payroll trends and compliance, or check out It's About Your Paycheck, the go-to podcast for employees looking to understand their pay and rights. Two great shows, two great hosts. Listen now, brought to you by Work Defined, where payroll meets clarity.
So we serve two audiences, right? We have employers and we have job seekers. On the employer side, we are focused on how do we bring the best quality candidates for these employers and also reduce their time to hire and also improve retention. So for us, that's a very big focus of us on the pipeline, right? And I think part of the acquisition of being able to access additional data, additional reach, it helps us enable that process to be much better. And what I mean by this is, employers, instead of, let's say between 1,000 applications, to between 200 applications, to get one applicant. Now, what we can do is before we Now we have a pool, let's say 1,000 applicants for a single job. We can whittle that down from our end. So by the time it reaches the employers, they'll have quality candidates, they'll have responsive candidates, they'll have the best fit candidates. And we're working with some employers on down the funnel metrics in terms of interviews, hires, conversions, retention, and those will be a big focus for us and the company moving forward on an employer perspective.
Hmm.
So that's part of our strategy moving forward. From a candidate's perspective, we pride ourselves on having this innovative platform where it's really sticky and engaging for the candidates, right? If you look at any metrics from any other job platforms, really, if a candidate comes in, and maybe they click on 0.5 jobs and that's it, and they're gone, right, from the website. From us, they're clicking on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're coming back over and over and over again. So for us, on the strategy on the candidate side is how do we continue to be that home for this hourly workforce? How do they come back, engage, and really, it's not just one-sided, right? It's we want to make sure we bring value for them, right? What are different extra income opportunities that we can provide them? What are different upskilling opportunities? What are different ways they can get paid earlier, different financial solutions. So all those things as part of our strategy moving forward for the candidate, and it becomes a virtuous cycle where more candidates, more employers, more job options, more candidates, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we're super excited to build this flywheel and continue to expand on both fronts there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, again, I love the true sort of, experience driven marketplace approach. And I think I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see, as I said, what direction you take this. Where can folks go, or where should they go to keep an eye on JobGet and this deal and others?
Yeah, they can visit our website, jobget.com. They can, follow us on LinkedIn. You can add me on LinkedIn at any time. I'm just Tony Liu, LinkedIn, JobGet. Reach out to me on email, tony@jobget.com. And there's happy to kind of chat more for anyone that's interested in following us and discuss more about the future of work and hourly workforce.
Great, great. Well, Tony, I know how busy you are, especially right after a deal like this. So I want to thank you for your time and for telling your story here at WorkTech. Thank you so much.
Happy to be here. Thanks again for the invite. Appreciate you, George.
All right. All right. Until next time. And thanks everyone for watching or listening. And we'll see you next time on WorkTech.
Thanks for tuning in to the WorkTech podcast. Visit us at oneworktech.com and find out why WorkTech is considered the most trusted source of market intelligence and strategic advice for WorkTech. Subscribe to the WorkTech YouTube channel for video episodes and exclusive content. And be sure to check out the entire Work Defined podcast network at wrkdefined.com for more podcasts on the world of work.